Hello, it's me, the girlfriend from Girlfriend Reviews. I have a boyfriend, and he is a real gamer guy. Am I right, ladies? Am I right? That's why I watched him play Diddy Kong Racing today. My boyfriend said this is a rare game, but it sold over 5 million copies, so he must be kinda stupid. Diddy Kong Racing was so ahead of its time that it not only made Banjo-Kazooie a playable character 20 years before Smash Bros did, it made Banjo-Kazooie a playable character before Banjo-Kazooie did. It even introduced a young star named Conker, who would go on to be remembered more for his public urination than his driving.
Holy cow, I'm totally going so fast!
But those aren't the only iconic characters in Diddly Dong Racing. They also invited this Ninja Turtle and his mom, Master Splinter. Who else they got in there? Tekken is in there, Kessin, the fucking, what is that, like a clock? It would take me all day to name all the stupid ass characters in this game. So here we go. There's Diddy Kong from DK Bongos, Tony the Tiger from Cereal, Bumper the Badger from Diddy Kong Racing. But I'm a girl. Always remember this. But I have a boyfriend. But he's a gamer. To express how I feel about this, I will now show a clip from The Office.
Okay, how about that hot? This is the, ooh.
So this isn't a review of Donkey Kong Racing. This is a review of what it's like to live with someone who's racing Donkey Kong. Okay, the reason my boyfriend thinks Monkey Kart 64 is better than Mario Kart is because he grew up with Monkey Kart 64 and is upset that people who grew up with Mario Kart had more popular sleepovers. But I like the monkey one because you are immediately greeted by Bing Bong from Pixar.
Bing bong, I'm taking the shortcut.
Now let me tell you why Donkey Kong is for adults. In a baby Mario Kart game for children exclusively, anybody can play that game. The controls are just so simple and intuitive. But have you ever tried to steer by pointing a fan the opposite direction you want your donut to go? It's impossible. My boyfriend got really mad at a cartoon octopus in such a way that I was reminded of this television and/or movie scene. This very real episode of Girlfriend Reviews is almost as funny as Video Game Dunkey. But no, it's not. Also, in Mario's Baby Racing, Nintendo makes you select a Grand Prix Cup from an easy-to-understand menu so that you can drive through 4 courses in a row conveniently. To a true gamer, this is one of the most embarrassing things you can do. Now, real gamers, how we like to do the Grand Prix is we like to crash into a waterfall so that we can go and drive to each course individually if we had unlocked enough birthday boy balloons.
Take her to the moon for me, okay?
If I may be serious for a moment, I love birthday boy balloons, and it's pretty obvious why my boyfriend likes Donkey Kong's Racing more than Mario Kart, which was clearly the cooler game in every single way. It's because this vivid wonderland of speed and glory features not only a soundtrack by the composer who wrote Sticker Brush Symphony on the Super Nintendo, but in addition features animals and tiny airplanes. After knowing Diddy Kong soared like an eagle, making doo-doo gas in his very own game 2 decades ago, my boyfriend probably reacted to the hang gliders in Mario Kart 8 with this part of Toy Story.
That wasn't flying, that was falling with style.
Super Mario 64 is one of the most exciting things that ever happened to my boyfriend, and he still brags about being the first kid in 4th grade to reach Yoshi.
A fact I'm very proud of.
According to him, there has been no leap in gaming more astonishing than the long jump Nintendo performed in 1996. Back then, it took less than a blink to see that this was a significant metamorphosis for art and entertainment.
Whatever you thought about video games before, set it aside, try it, it's a whole new experience.
But those opinions are based on the memories of a 9-year-old whose idea of a good time was slamming Surge, blowing Bubble Jug, and tugging a naked muscle doll while bugs baked in the oven and children picked giant boogers for a word whiz. That's why I was curious to finally judge this title for myself, and why it blows my mind to admit that 90s kids were right when they said, Nintendo 64! Nintendo didn't just break new ground in 3-dimensional space, they laid the foundations of it that developers have been building upon ever since. How many hundreds of brilliant minds did this take to make? 15? That's it! Was one of them Jesus? The amount of ingenuity here is unbelievable, so before I needlessly complain about how stupid it is for being old, please allow me to swoon over Super Mario 64.
Let's go.
Similar to parents teaching their toddler to navigate the world with a playground,
Game over.
Nintendo teaches players to navigate the virtual world with a virtual playground. Peach's Castle is purely and simply playgrounds within playgrounds within playgrounds within playgrounds. It's got slides, monkey bars, and the floor is lava. It's got teeter-totters, swings, and a game of tag. It's got carousels, fireman poles, and even an enemy called bullies. This multi-level playhouse continues to be an enjoyable place for recreation where fledgling gamers can develop motor skills
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
and also a place for athleticism where expert gamers can show off. But what's really impressive is the creativity in its construction. Although these levels are pocket-sized by modern standards, they are crammed with poly-pocket-sized efficiency. Through every canvas, the artist paints a unique ecosystem of interconnected elements and organisms that Mario must adapt to.
Open, you stupid!
On a cold mountaintop, he must become a sled, build a snowman, and return a lost baby penguin back to hell where it belongs.
Bye-bye.
In a haunted mansion, he must investigate paranormal activity without a vacuum before the music drives him insane.
Let me out of here. I'm scared. You get trapped in clown music. Don't know what to do.
Down this hall, he must survive a phenomenon known as island gigantism. But down the other, a phenomenon known as island dwarfism must survive him.
Okay, Tiny Dude is big now. He's big now.
Each new theme has its own thematic gameplay, and stage selection itself occurs in a constantly evolving overworld of royal surprises.
Why in the world is suddenly...
spotlight?
I don't know. I'm 9 years old. It's 1996. Let me see where that light is coming from.
What? Oh my gosh.
Mom, I need you to come look. I'm flying around in the TV.
As the player proves their worth in stars, the courses teach increasingly difficult lessons until the final exams are f***ing bullshit. Can't f***ing see, monkey bitch took my dang hat. So long, Gay Bowser. Then all you get for winning is a few pixels of cake. Hey Mario, this is called the friend zone, buddy, okay? Next time Peach invites you over to do every chore in her castle, shut that shit down.
Mario.
Don't try to swindle me because I like cake. It ain't happening.
So I do appreciate why this 25-year-old masterpiece remains an inspiration to the video game industry. But I find it harder to appreciate the lack of inspiration put into its latest re-release. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is a game collectors will love. That's a collection of games for collecting all the stars in 3 3D games, all starring Super Mario. Available for limited time while supplies last. Hurry! It's a collectibles item!
Oh no. Anyway.
Unfortunately, it left me wondering, if 15 people created this in 1996, why couldn't Nintendo hire 15 people in 2020 to fix it? I don't mean remake it with Odyssey graphics, although, yeah, they should do that. I just mean basic improvements such as telling the camera guy to shush it. Shh, be quiet. Can you imagine if this idiot made movies? That noise became maddening after the 100th time it happened. On our way to the castle. And what's worse, he straight up sucks at his job. Or since he's a Koopa, he's really good at his job, which is getting Mario killed. The quickest, cheapest way Nintendo could restore this classic would be to admit that a turtle emoji on a cloud filming with a fishing rod is not as practical as an opposable thumb on a joystick filming with a normal camera system, you weirdos. But why stop at quick and cheap? Let's call up Koji Kondo to add some fresh bangers to the soundtrack. Currently, it's easy to get sick of when only one of the 15 stages has its own song. And I'm pretty sure that song's supposed to make you sick on account of it being sung by the devil running across a kalimba. The repetitive music might have been due to the storage capacity of an N64 cartridge, but today, an N64 cartridge couldn't store a game I just made called Picture of an N64 Cartridge. So I think the Switch can afford to give Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Ride the epic tracks they deserve. Lastly, y'all got any more of them stars? If hackers can do all this crazy stuff for free, then Nintendo could definitely give us a little something. Fresh DLC a quarter century later? Now that would be a 35th anniversary surprise people feel good about. But yes, I will take 2 RC cars. Thank you, Nintendo. Whee! Yoshi! In conclusion, I loved going back to the past to finally experience Mario 64, but I can't help wishing that Mario 64 was brought farther into the future. It's kind of a shame, especially after seeing other games from the same era get rejuvenated with a fresh coat of paint or totally remade into something better. This Mario played the leading role in perhaps the most influential video game ever made, and it's about time we show him what he's helped us achieve, because this latest release was the first and only so far that my boyfriend outgrew his childlike desire to reach Yoshi. Okay, that's not true. He did get all the stars, but still.
Yes.
So proud of you.
Listen.
That was crazy.
I grew up. Over 20 years later, I made a girl watch me beat Mario 64, and then she high-fived me at the end. Every third grader in 1996 wants to be me right now.
Hey everyone! It's been almost a year since we've talked candidly to our audience, but something has happened recently that's put production of Girlfriend Reviews on hold, and so we feel like we really need to talk about it and let you know where we've been and what we've been going through.
We're sorry in advance that this video doesn't have the kind of crazy script and video editing you're subscribed for. This isn't the content we want to upload either. Unfortunately, we've been put into a situation where we need to defend ourselves and defend our brand and defend our community, while also taking this opportunity to talk about a larger problem we all face on the internet, which is how dangerous distributing or believing misinformation can be.
We also have some happy stuff to tell you about afterwards, as well as a fundraiser we've set up to turn this nasty situation into something good.
Okay, before we get into the details, let's just tell you the gist of the situation. A longtime member of the controversial subreddit known as r/TheLastOfUs2 sent death threats to himself, published them to that subreddit, blamed us in the title, and in the comments section asked people to go to our Twitter and start conflict with our fans.
And report us.
That post reached the subreddit's front page, where it remained for days, during which time the user escalated his claims with even more screenshots of alleged death threats, even going so far as to email us using his personal email address and full name, demanding that we, quote, emancipate our fans, which we guess would involve some sort of public apology. And then he even threatened to take this to the authorities.
So as you can see, this wasn't just trolling. This went beyond that. This was very stressful for us. This was very scary. We read a lot of hateful things about us over the last week. Luckily, at this point, the moderators of that subreddit have put a ban on all mention of us, and we don't really want to do anything to revoke that or take that away. So please do not go to the subreddit. Please don't go there on our behalf defending us. Don't talk to any of the users. Don't instigate or antagonize. We just want this to be over, but we really feel strongly about talking to you about it.
I think it's important to address our relationship with that subreddit.
For sure.
To give you a little backstory into how and why this happened, because it really wasn't just this random isolated incident. We feel like this was brewing for a year.
Oh, it was bubbling.
To be as brief as possible, 1 year ago, Shelby and I uploaded a video called
Understanding The Last of Us Part 2.
The subreddit r/TheLastOfUs2 is known for passionately despising that game. We enjoyed that game, and our video essay on it was even tweeted out by Neil Druckmann, the director, in approval.
That was a huge deal for us.
Yeah, that was like the highlight of our careers. However, that has put us permanently on that subreddit's naughty list, along with Video Game Dunkey and Cosmonaut Variety Hour, and probably many others.
A lot of the reasons that this subreddit seems to dislike us so much is misinformation. It seems like they took things from our Understanding The Last of Us video, like this.
Whether or not it's the story we wanted, this was a bold and monumental undertaking that only a fool would call lazy writing.
And took that to mean if you don't like the story, you're stupid.
Some people think that just the title of the video alone is implying that if you don't like The Last of Us, it's because you're too stupid to understand it.
Even though only a fool is something that you might hear a used car salesman say.
Only a fool would miss the bargain at the mattress bargain.
Exactly.
If we knew that that line would make people feel so offended, we obviously would have never used that.
They also thought that this...
If you reach the credits and wish you could have killed Abby, even after walking a mile in her shoes, then you may have beat the game you were playing with your controller, but you may have lost the game that Naughty Dog was playing with your soul.
meant that we thought anyone who didn't like Abby had no soul.
We're just being poetic. Like we obviously aren't casting out divine judgment based on your feelings towards
Who are we?
A fictional lady. We feel that while maybe the only a fool line was a poor choice of words, even given that, we think that the response to that video was unwarranted.
Absolutely.
Because we're just talking about video games here, and we don't hate anyone for disliking a video game.
Yeah.
In fact, around that time, I sent SkillUp a DM congratulating him on his negative review of the game because I thought it was really well written, and it spoke to me because I actually agreed with him on a lot of the things he said.
For the past year, on and off, someone might post something in that subreddit about us, and the comments, they call me a bitch, they call me a dumb mouthpiece for my boyfriend.
So, if you think this all sounds childish and petty and not worth discussing, we agree.
You're right.
For the record, we have never mentioned that subreddit on our YouTube channel. We've done word searches of all of our scripts, nothing came up. We've done word searches of all of our media files, nothing popped up.
It's possible that we missed something.
It's possible, please let us know, but from what we can tell, we've never mentioned them on YouTube, and we had never mentioned them on Twitter until last week when Shelby decided finally to stand up for herself and sort of roast a post about us.
So this post was posted by the now deleted user, The Real Roger Ebert. And he posted in the subreddit, Matt, I think you know the exact quote.
He was trying to claim that most of our videos are dedicated to defending The Last of Us Part 2 and are offensive to people who disliked The Last of Us 2.
The most marginalized group.
Yeah, so that's not true.
So I took a screenshot of The Real Roger Ebert's post and one of the particularly mean comments in the thread. I censored both of the usernames in the screenshots and I posted them to Twitter because I know that our Twitter followers love when we stick up for ourselves.
But never, ever has anything like that we've done caused our audience to go brigade someone or go attack someone. And if we thought that we had nurtured that sort of fan base, first of all, we'd be really disappointed in ourselves.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have made a post like that.
Right.
So the timeline is, we make a video, it made a lot of people mad on a particular subreddit. They sort of bully us and talk bad about us for a year. We clap back once on Twitter, and then someone sends fake death threats to themselves and blames us for it and then threatens to contact the authorities.
After I posted the screenshots, that evening, I believe, The Real Roger Ebert posted another post. And he said,
I made a post about girlfriend reviews and have now been getting messages like this. Thanks, girlfriend reviews. And the screenshot he shared, we're sorry. Maybe put the kids to bed, but this is it.
Right away when we saw this screenshot, we went, that's weird. Our fans don't really talk like that. A lot of them do not use the R word while criticizing someone for being transphobic. Those things kind of don't really go together.
Yeah, the golf club to a head thing is actually more of like a meme on that subreddit. I mean, even their banner is Joel's head as a golf ball with a golf club ready to swing. So we initially just thought, oh, this is like a joke. It's like a parody. Maybe he did send it to himself, or maybe another user sent it to him. It's not a funny joke.
Right.
But we didn't take it too seriously.
Until the comment section did take it very seriously. So he followed it up with more screenshots. These screenshots escalated in threats.
Way beyond trolling or parody. Like Shelby and I, and we think everyone should take death threats seriously.
Absolutely.
One of the screenshots just straight up says, "You are dead. I know where you live." You might be thinking that this video is unnecessary or that we're embarrassing ourselves and should be talking about this.
And we are.
But we feel like if we don't take death threats seriously on the internet, then someone's going to get hurt. Because if we just stop caring or say, oh, it's just a troll, then someone's going to get a death threat, not take it seriously, and then die. So we decided to investigate it farther.
That's right.
Way farther than any of the moderators or users on that subreddit decided to investigate it, because it wasn't hard to prove that this guy faked the whole thing.
No way.
So here is the investigation that we conducted, that everyone on that subreddit's been waiting to hear about.
Right.
That was, given the frightening circumstances, kind of fun for us because it was so ridiculous.
I love catfish. So I was very excited to be able to do this.
The first fishy smell was obviously that first screenshot. Then the second thing we noticed was that two of the perpetrators, two separate users who sent death threats, both used a very strange and identifying punctuational error. They both used a backtick as an apostrophe.
Interesting.
The backtick is located directly below the escape key on your keyboard, is used mostly for computational purposes and rarely, if ever, used in the English language unless you're using it as a grave accent over a foreign language word. So that wasn't a lot to go on, but it was enough for us to assume that these two threats came from the same user.
Next, we decided to see if we could identify any of these censored usernames, because all he did was scribble over the top of them.
He did a pretty bad job of censoring them.
So we thought maybe we could pick out enough letters from the screenshots to maybe piece together a username.
And we did.
And we did!
Really easily.
Yeah. He shared two screenshots from the same user. One of them he replied to and was very sad and scared about
and said,
the
how
messages.
could you send me two messages? Wasn't one enough?
Oh. We looked at the two different screenshots, and in one of them, we saw that he missed completely the beginning of the username, which was Viva. We saw the tail of a Y over here, and then we saw the word thing at the end here. We also noticed that at the top of this poorly cropped screenshot,
it says active in R Shakespeare.
Right.
It's a little cut off, but you can still make it out.
And we figured out that it was Viva la everything.
We searched user Viva la everything on Reddit, and
bada bing, bada boom.
Voila! He had only made one post or comment 5 months ago in R Shakespeare. And in that post, there was a backtick used incorrectly as an apostrophe. So now we
got one.
100% certain that Viva la everything was the username that he poorly censored in two of the threats he received.
So we decided to take a closer look at Viva La Everything's singular post in R Shakespeare. And from this post, we learned that Viva La Everything is an app developer. We learned that Viva La Everything will donate all of the proceeds from the AdSense that they make on these apps to Polish animal shelters.
So this is where we need to be extra careful not to dox this man. We worry that if we take you to his now deleted Google Play developer page, you may be able to figure out who this is.
The last thing we would want is to ruin a man's life.
Do not follow any of the threads we've given you. All you need to know is that in his now deleted Google Play Store developer page, we learned that he was Slavic because he had an app that
about
was
being Slavic.
Like a quiz about being Slavic. But that information is made further evident in the Reddit post itself, in which he says all earnings go to Polish animal shelters. So what we learned about this perpetrator is that he may be the other perpetrator based on their incorrect use of a backtick as an apostrophe.
Boy.
The perpetrator is Slavic, and the perpetrator has a Google AdSense account. Well, do you know who else is Slavic and has a Google AdSense account?
The real Roger Ebert.
The real Roger Ebert also has a Google AdSense account. He made multiple posts in AdSense and another one in AdMob, and he talked openly about being Slavic.
So we have perpetrator and victim, who are both Slavic and both have Google AdSense accounts.
It could happen.
It could happen.
It's possible that one of our Slavic fans with a Google AdSense account sent a death threat to another Slavic man with a Google AdSense account. So even though we were 90% sure that the real Roger Ebert fabricated the whole situation in order to defame us or cause us some sort of harm, we dropped it.
We decided to let it go. We were just going to let it continue making us sick in the background and making us feel
and hope for the best
bad.
The subreddit wouldn't freak out too much.
Exactly. But the real Roger Ebert did not let it go. The real Roger Ebert emailed us from his personal email with his full name, sharing his censored screenshots. And we looked at that email, and what was the first thing we saw?
Bum bum.
A backtick.
Used incorrectly as an apostrophe.
We have the victim and two perpetrators all using backticks as apostrophes.
Still, it's possible that 3 people in this scenario all do that weird thing, or there's something about the backtick we don't understand. We decided to play ball, and we emailed him back saying that behavior is unacceptable. Please send us the uncensored screenshots and we will report it to Reddit immediately. If those usernames are following us on Twitter or YouTube, we will ban them from our content.
Because if they weren't fake, he would send us the users and we could release those people from our fan base. And if he was behind the messages, he probably wouldn't send them to us.
Because it would incriminate him.
It would incriminate him.
Right.
But remember, he does not know at this point that we have figured out that one of the users was Viva La Everything.
Then he emailed us back, and he did not share the uncensored screenshots with us.
Nope.
Instead, he escalated his threats against us by saying that he was actually going to contact the Polish authorities, which was another piece of evidence in our investigation linking one of the perpetrators and the real Roger Ebert. That's when we decided to pressure him farther by saying, Great. Sounds like a good course of action.
We love that, yeah.
Please send us the uncensored screenshots immediately. We are already contacting the Reddit admins.
Now, we had a sneaking suspicion that upon mentioning the Reddit admins, he would want to wipe the perpetrator account if he were behind it. So we sat there for a couple minutes, taking a look at Viva La Everything.
F5.
Refreshing,
F5.
and poof! User Viva La Everything was deleted.
Within minutes.
So we went back to him.
And said, interesting.
We said, interesting, Miranda Cosgrove. Right after we sent you that email, the user we were able to identify, user Viva La Everything, has deleted their account.
Luckily, we've documented everything using screenshots and the Wayback Machine. The person who sent those messages won't get away with it. You have our word.
That's right, you have our word.
At this point, we knew that he was probably pooping his pants.
Right, and
would try to delete everything. We started hitting
We started F5ing that real Roger Ebert profile
on
and
the victim.
Poof!
Once again, within minutes, his account was deleted. Now we knew we had smoked the fox out of his hole and the jig was up. So we emailed him one last time, only to find that he had even deleted his own personal email account. We tried to email him on one of our secondary email accounts and it still
does not exist.
Was not there. He didn't just block us, he deleted his personal email. Then the Google Play Store account, linked to by Viva La Everything, was also removed.
So, the Girlfriend Reviews Court of Law finds user the real Roger Ebert guilty on all accounts of falsifying death threats and scaring our dogs.
Is he here? Oh my god, there was a huge crash. I think he's here to stop us from revealing the truth.
Guilty.
To stop the lies and harassment we'd been receiving in emails such as this, we tweeted out that we had caught this man and that we were going to make a video about it. But what happened after is almost as frightening as the initial post.
The subreddit did not have any sympathy for us, but started to make posts, and multiple moderators commented in these posts saying she is lying through her teeth.
And a lot of the conversation started going in the direction that we had fabricated this whole situation, meaning that we, in December 2020, created a user named The Real Roger Ebert, took a big poop all over The Last of Us 2 for 8 months, and then did this. So they didn't give us any of the benefit of the doubt that they gave this random, anonymous weirdo.
Right.
Instead, they did the opposite, and they continued the smear campaign he started against us for days, saying that we're just doing this for attention and that we need to do anything for clicks.
We need to milk the sub for views.
Or just saying horrible things about us. And so that's what really worried us, was that they doubled down. One of the moderators said, the wording of GF Review's recent tweets could almost leave uninformed readers with the impression that we, all caps, were the ones harassing her, all caps, and sending death threats. Very annoying. That's exactly what's happening here. And this guy is spinning it to his members that it's the opposite. So we feel like we've been taking crazy pills, and this is why we feel like we have to make this video. Because it wasn't just one guy who did something stupid and got caught. It's that a large community of people who already disliked us based on what we believe is misinformation were being led to believe by their mighty leaders that we did this, that we're somehow the villains in this situation.
Matt actually went into the subreddit and tried to communicate with these people.
To make light of it, I even said that we're trying to turn this negative into a positive by donating to a charity that we thought meant a lot to the real Roger Ebert. And again, I was downvoted.
This whole situation is so embarrassing. And so stupid, and we hate that we feel like we need to talk about it. I would just like to say this really disrupted our lives. It was not a good time for us.
We had a hate mob growing based on some really serious accusations and a guy threatening legal action, and we needed to monitor the situation. Our production was put on hold, not to mention feeling the need to prove our own innocence.
Right.
Because again, the Reddit contact support is basically useless. We don't have agents, we don't really have lawyers,
Right.
we don't have PR, and we had to put things on hold to monitor and investigate, and now make this video.
So, to our fans who are not involved in this, and to the hundreds of thousands of people who didn't even know this was happening, we're really sorry that we made this. We hate this.
Yeah.
We really only ever want things to be light and fun and happy on our channel.
Yeah, we're not a drama channel.
But we do feel like we need to stand up for ourselves.
The last thing we want to say about this, hopefully ever, on this channel, should be said directly to the members of Are The Last of Us 2. We know that some of you there will never believe us, no matter what we say, and think that we are doing this to further discredit people who don't like that game. This is not about a video game. This is about protecting our personal reputations and our audience and everything we've worked really hard to create here. We ask that you please do not try to retaliate against us further. It's not fair that Shelby and I feel scared to defend ourselves against these accusations because of what might happen on your sub next. Now that that's out of the way, we want to ask our fans for the first time ever, unless it was a joke, to like and subscribe and ring the bell and share this video.